know how to surgically or chemically mutilate my students with a sex change. But I do know how to use a tourniquet in case there's a school shooter and one of my kids is shot and starts bleeding out in the middle of my classroom. And I'm not teaching my students that one race is superior to another. But I am teaching my students how to use this door lock, just in case a school shooter tries to get into my classroom. All right, who wants to try next? Here you go. And I'm not teaching my students to hate America. But I am teaching my students to look around the room to see what they would use as a weapon in case a shooter did get into our classroom. Guys, the Chromebooks are going to be the heaviest. I'm going to use my Stanley. Let's practice this at our next drill.
That is the reality of what is and is not going on in our children's classrooms. Our kids are not getting sex change operations or procedures at their schools. That's not happening. Your teachers are not trying to teach your kids how to be something that they're not, or that they're superior or inferior to somebody else. They're not trying to teach some whitewashed version of history. They're not doing any of the things that the Republicans in the United States of America would try to have you believe. Kids aren't using litter boxes in the classrooms. None of these things are happening. None of them. Nobody is getting a sex change at school. Nobody. Your son doesn't go off at 8 o'clock in the morning and come back at 3:30 a girl. That's not a thing. But what is happening is our kids are getting slaughtered in their classrooms. They're getting slaughtered in their classrooms partly because we have underfunded mental health in this country, and partly because we have extraordinarily easy access to weaponry. Oddly enough, the people who are lying to you about what isn't happening in our classroom, the people who are telling you that your kids are going to school and then they're going through procedures and coming back a trans person, or the people who are lying to you and telling you that your teachers are teaching your kids that one race is superior to another, or that they're really gay, or they're really bi, or they're really this, or they're all of that shit that isn't happening is being sold to you by the same group of people that is fighting tooth and nail to keep that easy access to weaponry in this country, which is resulting in those very same kids getting slaughtered in those classrooms. That's the reality of what's happening. Tom, how the hell would you know what's going on in our classrooms? I got a kid in 7th grade. I've had a child in the school system for, well, since my now 23-year-old hit kindergarten. However many years ago that was. The shit that you're being told by the far right wing in this country about what they think is happening in our classrooms isn't happening. But they are fighting to make sure that the thing that is happening keeps happening.